Hi everybody, let's take a look at a simple technique which can provide us in effect with infinite undo. It's a way of repairing errors that we make when we're editing. Let's open a file, open, and open this one called France. And if we open up the map, we see that this shows the provinces of France. What we're going to do is we're going to show a technique for how to recover from making really gruesome editing errors. So let's take a look at, we've zoomed into here the Gulf of Gironde, and we're going to edit the outline of what is the province of Aquitaine. So to edit that, let's click here, and then we'll select this. This is a little bit of inside baseball here. The point of this is not to teach editing. We're just going to teach how to recover from editing mistakes. I've selected a bunch of inflection points, and I have moved them, and I'm going to click Update Record. So we've made a catastrophic modification to the shape of that particular province, and let's say we now want to repair that. Well, how do we undo? Well, as you know, if you're working with database stuff, there isn't any undo. There's no way to fix that. But what we can do is the following. We can take advantage of the fact that here in the provinces table, geometry is stored in a simple field. For example, the geometry for the province of Aquitaine is stored right here in this particular cell. Well, to get back the original shape of it, that's real easy to do. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to save the project under a different name, France 1, because we haven't saved it yet. So now this is called France 1. Okay, superb. In a different Manifold session, which I've opened previously, we can file open. Let's open the France project. And now you can see we have two Manifold sessions going in. This, by the way, all this is happening in Release 9. And we have two sessions going right now. And in this session, what I'm going to do is open the province table. That's the original France file that we opened previously. And here I'm going to right-click on Aquitaine and choose Copy. Then I'm going to click back here into this session. And let's undock the provinces table so we can see what happens as we do it. And I'm going to right-click to paste the geometry. And the moment I do that, this drawing snaps back to the original position. The trick that we've done here, of course, is that instead of saving errors into a previous file, what we've done is we've used a prior edition of the file to recover the geometry. Here in this prior edition of the file called France, we can copy the geometry from these various objects and, as we like, paste them into whatever the current version that we're doing. This kind of depends on our being willing, of course, from time to time to make backup copies of the various files that we work with. There's another trick that we can do here, which is also convenient. While we're in the middle of editing a file, while we're doing a session, we can take this table here and copy it, and then paste it. So now we have Provinces 2 table. The geometry for objects in Manifold is stored in tables, so if we make a copy of the table, we store a copy of the entire geometry. So let's say we do a really big editing deal here. For example, we'll and in here we'll choose all these vertices, and we'll move the entire province. And I'm going to click Update Record. And there, what we've done is we've let's zoom out a bit so we can see the damage that we've done. What we've done here is we've moved all of Aquitaine away from France itself, kind of like a southwest French Frexit, so to speak, on behalf of that province. Well, so how do we repair that? And in fact, suppose we make a series of other ugly moves here, like let's change the let's change a few inflection points here to make some spikes. And let's say we've done a whole series of edits, and it's been quite a while, so there's no chance of doing an undo because, well, you know, we don't get undo in this situation. Well, that's easy to deal with. We just go back to this. This is the current provinces table that we're using. We just go open up this provinces table 2 that we thoughtfully stored previously, and let's undock this also. And we'll undock that one. And we're going to use the backup table that we made here. I'm going to make a copy of the geometry for Aquitaine, copy, and then I'm going to go to the table here, and I'm going to paste it. Oops, got to paste it in the right field, paste. And there, Aquitaine is reshaped back to where it was. The geometry is restored back to what it should have been in the beginning. And so this technique is a very simple technique. And what it depends on doing is, as you're in the process of working with a file, take a moment to do things like copy the table and then paste it. So this province is table 3. And let's say we make a few more edits. Well, okay, let's copy it, and then let's paste it again. So there's table 4. And at any of these points, if you make some edits, well, let's actually do one right now. And let's move that whole province there, and let's delete these guys here. Now I'm going to make a copy of provinces table, paste it in this provinces table 3. So if I want to restore this back to the original position, I can go here to the provinces table and copy Aquitaine, copy, and then here, paste. And the table's moved back in position. The provinces moved back in position. Now let's say I want to restore it back to where it was after I made that change. Well, then I go here to this table that I made a backup copy of. Copy. Paste. And as you can see, the provinces moved back. Well, what I've done is I've made a snapshot of the table, the geometry, at various times in the evolution of the project. If you're doing lots of complicated edits to a project, it's important to be able to do those edits with confidence, so that you know that at any point you can recover and get back to, where you started with. And in the worst situation, of course, you can go back to an older edition like this, copy, and as we demonstrated in the beginning, paste, and restart back at where we began. I hope you enjoyed this technique. It's been a lifesaver for me in the past, because it's really easy to make big edits to objects doing all sorts of complicated things using transforms or SQL or queries or whatever to radically modify objects and tables. And you don't have to just copy and paste just one object at a time. You can do several of them at a time if you've modified several of them at a time. So this is a great way to recover from inadvertent errors. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope that serves your purposes and saves you some time in the future as well. Thanks for watching, and goodbye from Manifold Release 9 land. Well, that was fun. If you want to see more, visit us at www.manifold.net. As always, Manifold delivers the world's most advanced, highest quality spatial products for GIS and DBMS at a low price that you can afford. Once again, that's manifold.net. See you soon.